Welcome to That 80s Show, and I like to imagine that earlier this week, Irene Cara arrived in heaven, and they said, no, you can't be admitted here just yet. And she put on her shuffle socks and she said, let me show you, because I'm dancing for my afterlife. Hello, Dori.
Hello, Paulo. I thought you were going to say something like, she put on her leg warmers and said, I'm a maniac, you better let me in.
Oh, no. Well, listen.
I mean, I know that wasn't her song, but, it's all one thing in my brain.
It is, but what a choice to make this week, because you go, are we going to play Fame? Are we going to play What a Feeling? And we obviously found some of her, lesser-known songs that we loved. But just what a song to start off with. Irene Cara, the late Irene Cara, so young to pass away. Unreal.
Crazy.
Shame.
The last person we expected, because, it's not like she was, a raging drug addict, alcoholic, crazy person messing up motel rooms in her prime. Not that we know of, at least.
No, not that. No. And I think the thing that surprised me about her age was because she was so famous, so young. I think she was 21 or so when she really broke out. I think still the only artist to win 2 Grammys for the same soundtrack or something like that. Anyway, that's Irene Cara. Rest in peace.
Yes.
People from the 80s die, Dori. People from the 80s die. That's what happens.
Dude, I mean, well, except for the Rolling Stones, they're from the 60s and they're never dying. One's gone, but the rest are never dying. And
tell me about
it. So if you do live uncleanly, it seems to be the recipe for longevity.
It could, because you got to pickle yourself. You got to use the alcohol and the drugs, keep you going.
Yeah.
So caught up with something happened about a month ago. Remember Duran Duran? They released a movie.
Remember Duran Duran, just generally?
No, well, okay. Remember Duran Duran released a movie, okay? Yes. Recently. I actually don't know what the hell it was about because Ster Kinnickor didn't invite us to it. They had showings, IMAX showings, but did we get an invite? No, I mean, come on, okay. So Ster Kinnickor cancelled. We're with New Metro now. But around about the same time that this came out, Simon Le Bon appears on Jimmy Kimmel. I'm going to post this whole interview up on That 80 Show SA Facebook page, and where they're talking about a whole bunch of stuff. They talk about Live Aid. They talk about this movie. And then Jimmy Kimmel talks to Simon Le Bon about misheard lyrics, okay? And asks him, what do these mean? So Jimmy Kimmel himself says that for Hungry Like the Wolf, he heard it. I mean, the words are, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Jimmy Kimmel heard it as, I'm on the hunt, Amanda, you. Okay. Makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
No, he confused the shit out of Simon Le Bon. And then he asked him, what does this mean? Smell like a sound, I'm lost and I'm found. I've often wondered that. It's a weird lyric from Hungry Like the Wolf. So Simon Le Bon explains it as, he says, if you could smell a howl, that's what it sounds like. So if you could smell a howl, that's what he's talking about. Okay?
Right.
So think about it.
Okay.
Smell like a sound, I'm lost.
How much drugs was he on at the time?
Listen, I got to tell you, Simon Le Bon didn't. He was in a happy place. I'm not gonna speculate. When he's explaining this, and then from the reflex. Again, I've also wondered this. Why don't you use it? Try not to bruise it. So Jimmy Kimmel asks him, what is it? To which Simon Le Bon is like, use your imagination. So,
I mean, I always thought that was obvious.
You got to ask. If you're interviewing Simon Le Bon, you got to ask. You got to ask him.
I would ask the question. I would.
So what Jimmy Kimmel then...
If I got to interview Simon Le Bon, I would say, what is all that she wants? All she wants is what?
But Jimmy Kimmel was then saying, he said, when his family, his sister and his mother-in-law and his wife heard that Simon Le Bon's going to be on the show, he said they never come to any tape, ever. But they're all there front row wearing Duran Duran and Simon Le Bon T-shirts. Oh, very thirsty.
I've always been a Nick Rhodes girl. It's always been Nick for me. So.
Yes.
But I'll take Simon. I'll take it.
Hey, if you have to downgrade.
Yeah.
More 80s related World Cup news. I don't even know the context of this, right? But I see on Twitter Chesney Hawkes. I'm like, uh-oh. What has he done, right?
We know how much you liked Chesney, yes?
No, but you know how scared we get whenever we see like an 80s person name there. You go, oh, dead or cancelled. Okay, but Chesney Hawkes is way too nice a guy. Interviewed him. Go back, that 80s show essay. Go back in the feed. You'll find our interview with him. Too nice a guy to be cancelled. So there's no way. And I find the video. He was somehow involved with the England team this week. There were some videos going around. He was pretending to be subbed on. There was some Chesney Hawkes involvement, but I cannot for the life of me find out why Chesney Hawkes is in Qatar with the England World Cup team.
Supporting them, generally? But I don't know.
No, there was
Why don't we ask Barrett to WhatsApp him and ask him? Because, Barrett's on WhatsApp terms with all the people he's interviewed. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Chesney Hawkes, what were you up to? Oh, here's what they say. Oh, here it is. You know what, Dori? If only I had Googled. Okay.
You mean you didn't Google?
Fans convinced the one and only WON one and only. The fans are convinced that pop sensation Chesney Hawkes is England's lucky charm after bizarre halftime show during the Wales win. Okay, so he must have performed, because this is why we didn't see it on TV. He pops up at halftime of the match between England and Wales, performs the one and only, obviously. England win the game, and now they're saying Chesney Hawkes is the lucky charm. Surely it's no surprise that England scored twice after Chesney Hawkes graced the field. He says it's the first stadium gig he's done in 30 years. That's unreal.
Isn't he like 30 years old? Hang on, how old is he? In my mind, he's still little.
He's 51.
Oh my God.
51.
I can't imagine that, actually.
I
still see him as the teenage type person from the late 80s, early 90s.
Dori,
so bizarre.
You got to see him now.
Yeah.
You got to see him now. He's still 21.
Okay, I'm Googling.
That dude has drank viper blood or something, not in an evil, cultish way. Whatever he's doing to look young, like it is working for him. He still looks the same, right?
OMG.
He still looks the same.
OMG.
Yeah.
No, he looks way better now. Way better.
Yeah. But like not a dot of grey in his hair. Not a dot.
Well, I mean, he could dye his hair.
Do you think so?
I mean, people do that.
Oh, okay. We got to ask.
Sorry to burst your bubble.
The Celeb Savant is joining us a little bit later. He's going to be talking about his chat with Tiffany. We're going to ask him.
Yes.
We're going to ask him, was it a video interview? And can Chesney send some photos? Like, why not? Why not? We'll put that to him.
I'm very impressed by these pictures, I have to say.
Good looking guy. So the past few weeks, I have been shamelessly suggesting Christmas gifts. You are very classy because it was your birthday this week, and you have not, been hawking around for gifts. What would you like, Dori?
No.
Not a book, because I bought you a book that you still haven't read. I bought you a book like 3 years ago.
I have read it.
Oh, did you read it? Okay.
I read it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It took me a year, but I read it.
Okay, that's cool. So here's the thing, right? Let me tell you this. So Aldi. Yes. Aldi, I think they're all around the world, but this is specifically Aldi in Australia, right? They have an 80... Aldi's like Pick and Pay in South Africa, I suppose. Something like that.
Okay.
They... worldwide, their Christmas catalog comes out, but they got a range of retro entertainment 80s stuff, right? So I've sent you the link.
Okay.
My parents are currently in Australia. Okay. If you see yes. If you see anything here that you like, okay, just click on that link, open it up. We're going to put it on that 80 Show SA Facebook page. Is there anything? Yeah, now there's a lot of roller skates. I don't know if you're roller skating. I know you're a parkour person.
I haven't been for a while. But, the first thing that catches my eye is the yellow ghetto blaster. Let's be honest.
It's a Bluetooth boombox, okay? But it takes a cassette tape.
It looks like a ghetto blaster.
No, but it looks like a ghetto blaster. I had one similar to this, and the speaker's detached. Did you have one like that?
And it takes a CD and cassette.
CD and cassette.
No, I did not have one where the speaker's detached.
Okay.
No.
I had one. No. My one looked almost exactly like this. Was silver. Okay. Listen, if you don't know what we're talking about, just imagine any boombox you had. It's that. But like mine, the speaker's detached. But this one it's Bluetooth, okay, because it's mod. It's got a CD player because it's kind of 90s. It's got a cassette player, AM, FM stereo. It's got everything. It's got bass and treble control knobs. If you used your boombox properly, you just turned the bass right up and then broke the knob off. That's it. This is boom. It's not sometimes break your bass knob off. Okay. Disappointingly,
listens to this conversation out of context. Okay, yes.
Disappointingly, the microphone is not included. Because how are you supposed to like throw down some sick freestyle like beatboxing if you don't have a microphone?
Also, if it's not a double tape deck, how are you supposed to make copies of your tapes for your friends?
Okay, but also
and compilation tapes, mixtapes.
But think here, it takes Bluetooth. It takes you can load MP3 and
okay, I hear it.
I wonder if it's got a record button. Okay. So can you record off those? You see, that's the authenticity.
Yes, that is the question.
So you can get that in silver and yellow. Okay, so Dori has her eyes on the yellow. There is.
I mean, I'm looking at the larger version of the picture, which is not very large, but it looks like there's enough buttons for one of them to be a record button.
I know, because there's a play.
This is very nice. This is very nice. I would take the one in yellow. There is one in silver as well.
Okay, so Dori's.
I assume you want the Back to the Future mug.
It is like I like the Back to the Future mug. I'm not hating on the Back to the Future mug. There's a Pac-Man mug. Oh my tits. Okay. I wasn't that into it until I started clicking on all the mugs. So there's a Back to the Future, there is a Pac-Man, there is a Star Wars, there is a Jaws, there's an E.T., there's a Coke, this is it, and there is a He-Man Masters of the Universe mug. Oh boy.
I see it.
Okay, add to shopping list, right? I sent that. And then I just imagine you and I one day going on a That 80s Show tour around the world, but we're going to need branded adult windbreaker jackets. You and I matching. They're not matching. There's definitely a male and a female.
They're not matching at all. They're not even matching within themselves.
Like every windbreaker. Okay. You know, it's a thing. We posted up that meme. No generation fought against the wind harder than 80s kids. We did not want wind. We just had windbreakers.
Can I just talk about so there's a picture of the windbreakers by themselves, but then there's a picture of two models wearing the windbreakers, and those models could not look less 80s if they tried. Like they really don't.
She not so much. The guy, that is a nice mullet.
I mean, the hair could go either way. Yeah, is it a mullet? Is it not? Is his hair not tied up in a little pony at the back?
You know what? It could be, but I like to imagine it's more Billy Ray Cyrus mulletish. I think.
Okay, let's go with it's a mullet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think, getting those branded. You and I, we go on a world tour.
I have to say though, dude. Even for a windbreaker, these are ugly. Ugly.
So they're windbreakers, they're hoodies. They're predominantly white and black, but so the male is the hoodie, the top part is white, the bottom is kind of black, and then you got one sleeve's red and one sleeve's blue. Okay, that's fantastic.
It's more like orange and blue. Like it's one's orange and one's blue. I mean, really, the woman's one's not so bad because at least it's symmetrical. It's got pink and blue on both sleeves in the same place, so it looks a bit more normal.
Looks decent. Okay,
but dude, I had like a powder baby blue windbreaker with pink on it. There was pink somewhere, maybe stripes on the sleeves. I can't remember. That was my windbreaker in the 80s. I wish I
Jeez.
still had it. I don't know what happened to it.
You just
Probably
killed.
the zip broke because they always broke.
They
And
always
then we,
broke.
like, gave it away or threw it away.
And they'd often break when it was all zipped up because we got to break the wind. Like I can't be having half a jacket it's zipped up. I'm breaking the wind, and then it'd break at the top, and now you're stuck in windbreaker hell. You're like, oh my God, what if I never get this off? What if this burns into my skin? It's a nightmare. Okay, so we'll do that. So we're going to add the jackets to our list. Dori wants a yellow boombox.
Can we talk about the novelty soap on a rope?
There is novelty soap on a rope. It is Pac-Man, but let's click on it, see if there's any others.
In the shape of Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pac-Man soap. Soap on a rope.
Cool.
You know, it's less so the design and more the concept of soap on a rope, because soap on the rope was 80s. There's been, it kind of you'd have all your different Old Spice soap on a ropes. How many of those did you not get as a Christmas gift? And then kind of they just went, guys, this soap on a rope thing is bullshit. Like, nobody, what is the point? Why did we have it? What a stupid thing to have. What's the practicality?
I'm not going to make the obvious so you don't drop the soap joke, because that shouldn't be a problem in your own bathroom.
No, exactly. I don't know. Watermelon
I don't know
scented.
why soap on a rope was a thing.
It was huge in the 80s.
I've never had soap on a rope, ever. I mean, it was mostly a man's thing, but I've never had one.
Yeah,
I don't think my dad ever had one either. Like, it just wasn't a thing in our home.
Did it actually ever exist? Was it just like a collective fever dream? Like a collective hallucination?
They had them on the shelves, but nobody ever bought them or used them.
Yes. Oh, I don't know. I think we have just uncovered something by Big Soap. What were they doing? What were they doing with soap on the rope? Conspiracy theory. So, listen. If you are a friend of a member of that 80s show, like, you cannot say, oh, why do we ever get those guys? Because honestly, every week we're going to keep doing it, saying, here is something for the 80s people in your life. Okay. All very reasonably priced if you earn dollars. So yeah, that's fine. And that yellow boombox, that is it's a good thing. There's definitely a record button. We're definitely going to be listening to Boy George on a beach.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Boy George on a beach.
I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. He got voted off, and then he's frolicking on the beach. Boy George. He's never struck me as a beach person, and when I look at these pictures now, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he does not look like he's in his element. However, if you just look at his face, he looks much the same.
Yeah.
He has aged very well. Like, he really looks just like a slightly older version of himself from the 80s. Like, he really looks much the same. I'm very impressed.
Okay, so what Dori
he does look not in his element on the beach.
Not a beach person. So what we're talking about is a show in the UK, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. It's a very like low-key kind of Survivor. It's not that tough. Different celebs, they get voted out. And I think this is him hanging out on the beach. But Dori, I wonder if...
But hang on, which beach is it? Where is this?
So they don't reveal where it is, because then people know where he is. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's the thing. I don't quite understand the show.
Because they just say the beach, the jungle.
The jungle.
They don't say...
Exactly. Because then you're going to know where it is. I think it's in Australia.
Maybe.
I think it's in Australia. I think it's there. But I'm wondering here, right? So if we say, Chesney Hawkes looks young, Boy George looks young, soap on the rope, is there a connection? Were they the only people using soap on a rope, and the whole time it's actually an anti-aging elixir, and we just dismissed it because I'm looking old as shit?
Boy, are you reaching? No, now you're reaching.
I didn't use soap on a rope and I look old as balls. These guys, maybe they did. It's all unraveling.
We're gonna do some soap on a rope research.
Yeah. Okay. Pac-Man soap on a rope.
I'll ask everyone I know.
And just before we get into our movies, haven't done David Hasselhoff updates in a while, right? He's a staple. Whenever we're desperate, show content. As you can hear, it's a little bit thin on the ground. We go,
no, it's not.
What is David Hasselhoff up to? Oh, Google alerts pop up for David Hasselhoff. David Hasselhoff wows fans as he revisits Baywatch days, aged 70, in topless pool snap.
70.
He's 70.
I probably reacted like that last time we mentioned this because we would have said last time he's 69 or he's 70. Oh. And I probably reacted the same way. I just, that does not make sense in my brain.
You know.
At all.
You know that David Hasselhoff hates being 70 because he loved saying he's 69. Like, you just know. You just know that. You just know that for a year. And like the year before, oh, he's just dining out on that for 12 months, maybe even 24. Who knows? But he's in a resort and he posts on Instagram, David Hasselhoff, topless. He's having a grand old time on his holiday, wherever he is. There he's riding a bike.
Where's Chippen? Is a retreat in Chippenham. Where's Chippenham?
Yeah,
it sounds like the UK.
It does, because there's another photo here where he doesn't look like he's in Chippenham, because he looks like he's at a spa. But he's, listen, we spent a long time, almost a decade, looking at David Hasselhoff's nipples. Try to say that fast, David Hasselhoff's nipples.
Well, you did. I never watched Baywatch.
Oh, I'm talking about Knight Rider.
Might have tried.
The shirts are buttoned low, Dori. Very low. And you know what? I have to say that his nipples are still very well placed compared to, consider 20 years have passed and the nipples are still within like a good 5 centimeter region. So
they have not descended.
No. So
Chippenham is indeed a town in England.
Okay.
Just by the way.
Okay.
It is 13 miles northeast of Bath.
And Yeri is in a bath. Yeah. So there you go.
Exactly.
Okay. So then this photo of, that's from Baywatch because the woman on his lap is passed out. I thought that's just general because there's another photo in this article of him on a jet ski with a woman passed out on him. I said, geez, David Hasselhoff, you go hard. But that's actually a scene from Baywatch. So
that's definitely a scene from Baywatch.
Good nipple placement. Still very primo nipple placement from the Hoff. So well done to him. Right. Enough padding.
Is the passed out woman wearing gold sequin pants in the sea?
Dori, you did not watch Baywatch. I did not even.
Also, she looks topless from that angle of the picture. She looks completely.
No,
topless.
you can see her. You can see her bikini top. You can see it just under there.
Okay.
The handlebar of the jet ski. You see. I watched Baywatch. A woman in sequin pants passed out with the Hoff. Like, nah. I don't. That's why I just thought
nothing unusual here. No. Nothing unusual here at all.
Quite normal. Jeez,
Oh my God, David Hasselhoff's wife is 42.
Of course,
I'm not judging.
No,
I'm not judging.
Of course.
Who's judging? Rubbish.
Of course. I wonder what it says about me that I spent the best part of my late teenage years watching Baywatch. Yet the only thing coming out of it is I noticed where David Hasselhoff's nipples are. Like I think I was doing it wrong. I think I was watching Baywatch wrong. Okay. So here's the setup. I see Dori on the weekend and she goes, I got a movie and it's such a good movie, I've got outside help. So, boy.
No, I did not say that. You misquote me. How drunk were you? Okay, let me just rephrase. I didn't say I have a movie that is so good I've got someone else to do it. I said I have something really interesting, but I've outsourced it.
Okay.
I will tell you, it's not happening this week. It is not happening this week, but it will hopefully happen next week, if not in the near future. I have outsourced. It's a TV series that ruined my childhood and traumatized me to this day. And that is why I have outsourced it, because I literally cannot talk about it. I will have nightmares, but I want to talk about it.
Okay.
So I've outsourced it to somebody who will do it way more justice than I will.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. But it's not happening today. Today we have the extreme opposite of that. A little bit of a last minute rush to find something for today. But remember we discovered that YouTube playlist with all the really dodgy 80 movies on it. And I did the really good one, which was the heartbreak.
The Heavenly Kid.
Heavenly Kid.
The Heavenly Kid, yeah.
You're the brain. The Heavenly Kid. I did the Heavenly Kid. And then I kind of looked through the other movies, and most of them would just be great crap that you would love to do and will do probably. But there was one other movie on the list that I was like, I have never heard of this movie in my life. Let me check it out. And I then thought, okay, I'm going to watch this movie because I can, because it's on YouTube. And I've never seen it.
Okay.
And I now regret that decision, but it's okay because I still want to talk about it. This movie, if you ever wanted to know what it's like inside the brain of a, let's say, 14-year-old girl in the 80s, this movie is literally what would be playing in the brain of, not all of them, obviously, but the average 13, 14, maybe 15-year-old girl who loves the whole angst and all the things. Okay, me. I'm talking about me, right? Okay. So if you want to get into my 80s brain, this horrendous movie will be an insight into it.
Oh, God.
I didn't expect the movie to be horrendous because the main star is a rather young Jennifer Connelly. This is the movie she made before Labyrinth. Before.
How young is she? Because that's even
She's
before
so
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, no. So this movie is 1985. Labyrinth is 86. This is 85. She looks 13 or 14. I don't think she is. In fact, I'm checking her age now as we speak. I don't think she really was. And certainly in the movie, she's definitely supposed to be probably 16 because there's a whole thing of is she having sex with a boyfriend?
Right.
So I don't think they would do that with someone younger than 16.
Right.
Then again, it was the 80s. Who knows? I mean,
Yep.
Look, 15 at the absolute youngest. Absolutely.
Sorry, while you're saying that, I don't know if you saw that clip resurface this week. It was actually, no, Brooke Shields came on a talk show recently and talking about when she was on Barbara Walters. Because Brooke Shields kind of like had a bit of a controversial early start to her career. Child actress, but they really over-sexualized her. I mean, it was very uncomfortable.
Terrible.
And she was about 15 in this Barbara Walters interview. And she just talks about how Barbara Walters just kept pushing her to talk about how she was sexualized. It's actually terrible. My God. I mean, it was uncomfortable watching in the time. And to talk about it later.
I've actually seen bits of that. I know exactly which interview you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I went down the rabbit hole when I did Blue Lagoon as a movie. It was,
Yeah.
Okay, so Jennifer Connelly was born in December 1970, which means, assuming that they're filming this movie in, okay, let's go with 1985, because it probably didn't take very long to film. It's like made for TV style, like really not that fancy.
Okay.
So let's go with, so she would have been 14 or 15 in this movie.
Okay.
And that's what she looks like. She looks it. It's a silly, vaguely shenanigans type of teenage chicky flick. Oh my God, I can't even. It's called 7 Minutes in Heaven.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay. Have you?
Yeah.
Have you heard of the movie or the game?
They possibly happened together. They possibly happened together.
It's so funny because, so 7 Minutes in Heaven is like a thing from American movies that I've seen multiple times. It's not something that I experienced as a young teenager. When we used to go to parties, there were let's call them kissing games. They were kissing games, but there was never 7 Minutes in Heaven.
Oh, thank God!
Do that.
Thank God! I thought it was just I was never lucky enough. So okay. Oh, they didn't exist. Thank you. Okay.
No, my experience as a young teen in the 80s was Spin the Bottle. And then there was my favorite, which was 7 seconds.
Okay. 7.
No, Special Seconds. It was called Special Seconds. Special Seconds. That was it.
Special Seconds.
It was so stupid when I think back to it. Oh my God, it was the stupidest party game.
It was really dumb. Just so dumb.
Okay, so Spin the Bottle, you know how Spin the Bottle works. It's like it actually has a mechanism to it where you spin the bottle points at someone, and you're supposed to kiss them or whatever.
Unfortunately, I only ever saw it in the Wonder Years and things. Never played it professionally.
Really?
Never
You
played
never
it.
went to parties? You
Never.
never went to parties where this was played?
Never played
Oh my
it
goodness.
professionally.
Where did you grow up?
I went to a Catholic school, Dori. I went to a Catholic school.
I also forget that you're older than me. I mean, younger than me. I forget that you're younger than me. So maybe it was more my era that we used to do this. And by the time you got to your young teens, it was like, nah, we're going to play video games.
Oh, Dori, do not overestimate what a nerd I was growing up. So I know I give the illusion of being very cool and man about town.
Okay, so the movie's called 7 Minutes in Heaven. I mean, there is one reference to it in the movie, which is so ridiculous. I don't know if it's supposed to be about like a sex or whatever. Anyway, the plot is these two teenage girls. One of them is Jennifer Connelly. The other one is Maddie Corman, who plays the annoying sister in my favorite movie, Some Kind of Wonderful, my favorite 80s movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they're friends, and there's no real plot. Honestly, there's very little plot. It's really just, teenage girls, and there's boys, and they like boys, and what's going on with this boy, and what about this boy, and oh no, she needs to focus on her schoolwork, and there's a few shenanigans because Maddie like kind of meets this baseball player and like kind of has this huge crush on him. And anyway, they have like this makeout session in his car. He looks like he's 20 something. She is for sure 14 or 15. So dodgy. There's another scene where she also like makes out with this photographer dude who is definitely in his 20s. It's very weird. Anyway, the point is she kind of like runs away, in inverted commas, runs away from home to go watch him play baseball in New York. I think they're based in New Jersey. So she has to like lie to her parents about where she's going. So there's a bit of vague shenanigans. It's
there.
It's watchable.
It sounds like it's there.
It's on YouTube. If you want to, like, I mean, it's got, the teen angst and, like I say, like the real chick flick element. And look, Jennifer Connelly is very pretty, but she does look like a child. So it's not like, oh, watch it because she's hot. It's not like that. And then, I suppose it's just, and it doesn't even have a great soundtrack. Let's just go with don't watch 7 Minutes in Heaven, even though it's on YouTube. Let's go with that.
Okay, rather watch, how about this? Rather watch 7 minutes of Jennifer Connelly in anything. How about that?
Yes.
How about that?
True.
She's not, sorry man.
Specifically when she's a bit older though.
Yes, no, I said earlier she was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It wasn't her, it's Phoebe Cates in that iconic scene. That's who.
Yeah, you see, I couldn't remember because I haven't watched that in so long. So I was like, I know that Phoebe Cates is in it, but okay.
That's who I was referencing. So basically Dori's saying, rather watch Jennifer Connelly, who I'm actually going, underrated hottie. I'm like, kind of I think I've got a late 80s crush on her. It's taken a while to develop, but underrated object of my affection, I think. I think I'll add her to the list, but not at, well, yeah, okay. So rather watch...
Not when she looks 12.
No.
Which she kind of does half the time in this movie.
Okay, all right. So 7 minutes in heaven, not a game I played, nor a movie I will watch.
No, I don't recommend.
Okay, so my movie, I'm getting into Christmas season. A few weeks back, we spoke about Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, their new movie, Spirited Away. Obviously, because they did the promo with Rob from Milli Vanilli, right? So the movie pops up. It's kind of funny, them doing a musical. I watch it. And it's the whole Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol story. Ebenezer Scrooge.
Is this on Disney?
It is on Apple TV. It's on Apple TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have access. Okay, yes.
Yeah. Oh, you can get it for free if you just spend 50,000 Rand on any Apple product. And it's fantastic. They give you 3 months free TV if you spend half your life's savings. Yeah, no, it's just cool. Just buy a brand new iPad for the price of a small compact car. And so
I think it would make more sense to have 1 month subscription of Apple TV and then cancel it.
Yes. But whatever.
Also, isn't there a free trial period?
Hey, listen, depends how patient you are to make up free password. They actually don't. I don't think they do free trials. They only do, you only get a free if you buy Yeah, I don't think they're clever. They got us.
Well,
So
okay.
it's the classic Christmas Carol. Ebenezer Scrooge goes to Christmas past, present, future. Yeah, that kind of thing. Just a modern twist on
I
it.
do love it. I do love that. But I mean, can it be done better than Scrooged?
Well, Dori, no. That is why I'm recommending the movie Scrooged.
Awesome.
So, because I'm watching this and I'm going, my favorite version of this was actually the Muppets one, right? So while I'm watching it, I'm going, no, wait.
No.
Because I love 80s Muppets. I love it. And Michael Caine was Ebenezer Scrooge. And I'm like, no. I said my favorite version of this was the Muppets. Especially there's one scene in it where they do kind of go back to ye old England and it reminds you of that. And then I was like, then they make the reference, an in-joke, going, Ryan Reynolds goes, this sounds like a bad movie with Bill Murray and Bobcat Goldthwait. And I was like, oh, God, Scrooged. Okay, yes. That is my movie recommendation for the week.
We really never recommended it before. Are you sure?
Dori, if we did, it was so long ago, and I don't think.
So long ago. I agree.
So long ago.
Because what a great film. And I will absolutely be watching it this Christmas, along with my other favorite Christmas movie from the 90s, Bad Santa.
Oh, Bad Santa for the win. Bad Santa for the absolute. And listen, a new addition to Christmas movies is 8-Bit Christmas with Neil Patrick Harris. Look, it's super.
Yes, I still need to watch that.
It's super unbelievable.
I have low expectations.
No,
yes.
Because Neil Patrick Harris is not straight. I mean, it's just he should not be playing. It's just no, it just does not work anymore. It's like
stop making him Barney.
Exactly. It was just like he's just so in his mind going, you know what? I hated that character. I'm not that anymore. I tried to kill that whole thing.
Yep.
And then he goes and plays it like it's just not believable. Like, but so in Scrooged, it is that story. Now, when this movie came out in the 80s, I absolutely loved it because I was just in love with Bill Murray at this stage. I still am, but then, I mean, he was the funniest Ghostbuster. He was the voice of Garfield in the Garfield and Friends cartoon show. And then comes a movie. I was like, oh no, I'm just so enamored with him. And it was such a dark comedy retelling of a story that we knew. So I was like, oh, we know the story, but they put such a twist on it. And he's, it's a typical story. He's like a bad dude, television executive, instructs his crew. They're trying to like make mice into reindeers and they can't like get the antlers to stick. And he's like, well, staple them on the head, firing people on Christmas Eve, all the rest of it. Gets visited by the 3 ghosts, goes back, comes forward, good guy, bad guy. It's just, we know the whole story, but it actually is.
Great
story. It
really is.
It's done so well by Bill Murray. He's manic. He's absolutely insane in this movie. Bobcat Goldthwait plays his assistant. Also, he loses his mind. In 80s movies, the kind of things happen that you watch it now and it's like a little bit triggering because whatever it was then. Really great movie. The Ghost of Christmas Present is played by, you won't remember the actress's name, but shows up as a ballerina, and she just keeps beating the shit out of Bill Murray.
Isn't it Carol Kane?
Okay, so you know all these random actors. I never know these people. I know who they are, but I cannot say where from, whatever. It is Carol Kane. And
that is her best role ever. And her role in the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Definitely.
Yeah. She just beats the shit out of him, like constantly. She's hilarious. Bobcat Goldthwait is good. Bill Murray, his brothers show up in the movie. He gets parts for his brothers in the movie. After I watched the movie, I kind of like did some reading up. They said shooting this film was an absolute nightmare because Bill Murray was just uncontrollable. He just would not follow script. They ad-libbed a lot, which meant that so much ended up on the cutting room floor. They just went to the father and son editor team who had won Oscars and all the rest of it and just dumped hours and hours of footage on them and said, make this piece of shit work. And which they did. Which they did.
Yes, it came out amazing.
Yeah, I think it was so good. The interpretation of the different ghosts. Like I say, I mean, how do you spin a story like that? Because even with this, spoiler alert, the Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell story, they do try to spin it. But once I had Scrooged in my head, I was like,
Yeah.
Nah, Scrooge is
Fail. Just fail.
way better. Way better. You get bull. Oh, and I have to say something weird. They've CGI'd Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds' face and Spirited Away. They've
What
done.
do you mean they've CGI'd them?
They've CGI'd their face. It's not called Spirited Away. It's called Spirited. They've CGI'd their face at certain points instead of doing makeup. They've done something weird to their faces. They've uncanny valleyed them. They've done something so weird.
Ugh.
You got to watch. Something weird is going on in certain scenes. I don't know what it is. But anyway, don't watch that. Watch Scrooged in all its VHS glory. You will be able to find it somewhere. It is between all the different streaming services. It will pop up somewhere. Fantastic Christmas movie. Show it to your kids. They will thank you for it. and it actually ends with an underrated Annie Lennox song. Annie Lennox, Al Green.
There must be an angel.
No, A Little Love in Your Heart.
No.
Is it Share or Send?
Oh, yes.
Yes, A Little Love in Your Heart. That one.
I know which song you mean. That's what matters.
Yes.
Show
So
a little love.
is it Show a Little Love? Dori knows what song it means, so ask her.
I'm asking the Google.
Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
Put is the correct word.
Which it became a massive hit. I think it actually became a bigger hit and more memorable than the movie actually ever was. The song became a massive hit.
Yeah.
Even Al Green at the time gets himself into trouble because he had stopped making pop and he became a reverend. And yes, and his congregation and members of that church were very anti him because they go, "You've made a non-secular song when you should be making religious songs." So he got him into trouble, but a great Annie Lennox song nonetheless. So that is my movie, Scrooged, and it's great. And you got to watch it, and it will give you, let me just see the runtime here. I just got to double check the runtime. It will give you an hour and 37 minutes of heaven. And that's way better than Dori's 7 minutes.
Oh, you don't even get 7 minutes from that movie. No, don't even count it.
Oh, no. Okay, don't even count it. So Dori, enjoy Scrooged. I think it'll be...
I will. I know I will.
So the Celeb Savant is in our midst. The other day I was doing something, I couldn't say digital, just as an aside. I don't know. It just wouldn't come out. It was one of those. So the Celeb Savant Barrett joins us, very excitedly posts up. He spoke to Tiffany, she of... I think We're Alone Now fame, one of our favorite songs. Well, one of my favorite songs, a song that Dori acknowledges as a key song of the 80s. Welcome, Barrett, the Celeb Savant. Been gallivanting around, we see.
Yes. How are you both?
Very good. So listen, Tiffany, give us the scoop. We've listened to the interview. But give it from your mouth.
No, so it was super cool. So it was a week ago in the evening, obviously, because South African time evening, their time, lunchtime. So now what happened, I had booked 2 interviews, one after the next. So first it was supposed to be Tiffany, and then another artist from Canada called Andrew Allen, not really related to 80s in any case. So I was getting all prepped, a bit nervous. And then I get an email from Tiffany's manager at 7:30 our time saying, okay, they need to push the interview out by half an hour to 8:30 at the same time that I was booked to interview the other artists. So I was like, oh my God. But gratefully, I've got Andy's Alan on my phone. So I just phoned him and said, hey, can we shift it earlier? He said, cool. And then I interviewed Andy, then Tiffany. So then interviewed with Tiffany. I was a little bit nervous. And yeah, it was super cool. I don't know if she was cooking or someone was cooking while we were doing the interview for the first bit. So there was a bit of movement, pots and pans for those guys who've listened to the podcast. But I really was cool. And I was supposed to get 15 minutes, but I got 18.
Listen, and So two things I take from there is that you doesn't sound like you were alone. She could have been cooking for somebody. So, and then she was also running as fast as she can, or you were at least, because you had another interview. So that's also quite apt for it. How did she come across? Nice person? Or was she just going through the motions?
Very friendly, very giggly. So she's doing lots of other projects. She's doing, she's got a cookbook coming out.
Ah, there you go. So, of course she was cooking. Yeah. Probably doing the two. Probably like trying out recipes for the cookbook while she goes, let's kill two birds with one stone.
Yes.
Barrett, I mean, I don't want to be the guy who says this, but are you due some royalties in her cookbook? I mean, if she's cooking on your clock, so to speak, I mean, I think a check should be in the Celeb Savant mailbox. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe. I don't know.
Ask that. Ask her and her manager. And listen, anyone who follows you on the socials, the Celeb Savant is at all the places. What have you been up to? Concerts? Yes. What have you been doing?
Yes. So I had 2 concerts this past weekend, or just past. So I was at the Callum Scott concert, and then on Saturday, and the Waterboys on Sunday. So it was a busy weekend, and it was at the same venue with the same sort of organizers. So I've made friends with the caterers, with the security guards, and all the other people that are there, and hang out with them. And the
man of the people. I just want the man. This is not somebody who goes and sits in the gilded VIP area, just eating chicken wings and drinking free drinks. He's like, he
wouldn't eat chicken wings. He's a vegetarian.
Oh,
but yes.
And I don't drink.
Oh,
and he doesn't drink.
So the VIP area is absolutely pointless for you.
Yeah. So I was standing
unless the V stands for vegetarian.
Yeah,
but then the IP doesn't work.
Go there, which they don't generally.
But then the IP doesn't work.
Say again.
But then if V stands for vegetarian, okay. Vegetarian important
vegetarian
people.
Infused place.
Thank you.
Infused place.
Thank you. It's Dori with the words. So many words this person knows.
So in any case, anyway, I was hanging out right in front, as I do at concerts, which I enjoy. Much prefer that because the VIP is quite a way back, so you're not like where it's happening. So I made friends with the security guards, and John Michael, who is part of the catering company, who's assisting his father and grandmother on the weekends. He's a 16-year-old kid. And in Arno Carsten's preset to the Waterboys, or opening act, he mentioned a Walkman. And John Michael was like, what the hell is that? I've never heard of it. So I took out my phone, showed him a picture of it, and he was killing himself laughing because he thought it was the most hysterical thing that he had ever seen.
Well, young George Michael needs to school himself.
John Michael.
Barrett, I have a question. Did the Waterboys perhaps start the concert with The Whole of the Moon?
No.
You see?
Okay, just checking.
It was in the middle of the
set.
Checking
for Paulo.
So you're telling me...
They didn't end with it.
So you're telling me that an 80s band played in a park-type environment. Was it at Marks Park, Barrett?
Yes, it
was.
Okay.
So you're telling me an 80s band played at Marks Park and didn't open with their biggest hit that most people came to see? Interesting. Thank you, Dori. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I will never get over that. If you don't know what you're talking about, we go watch Aha. They open with Take On Me. I missed it. I was at the bar. But plus side, I was at the bar. But anyway, you don't start with your biggest song. So
Barrett, we would know. I want to ask Barrett because we were talking earlier about Chesney Hawkes.
Yes.
When you interviewed Chesney Hawkes, was it on video or was it audio only?
So it started on video, but because he was in a bad reception area where the Wi-Fi was kept hanging, we went just then on to audio. But it wasn't video initially.
We need to know. how good did he look?
Oh yeah, brilliant.
See,
Exactly like the pictures on Instagram.
I see.
No
Or
grey
any of the
hair.
socials. No.
See, Dori, I told you.
He was actually, I remember correctly, he was at his parents' house because remember his mother was a television actress and television presenter. His father was part of an 60s band. I can't remember at some of my mind which band at the moment, but he was at their house and the room he was in was like filled with guitars all over the world. Not all over the wall, not all over the wall. All over the wall was just filled with guitars, and that wasn't his place. That was at his parents' place. Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what happened? Let me tell you what a fantastic guy Chesney Hawkes is. Is that he was on video and it wasn't reception. He just goes, you know what? I'm just so handsome. I feel my handsomeness is just going to distract everybody. Let's just reception, guys, because he just didn't want to. He's just too handsome. That's what happened.
Well, he is.
You see, and
I think he actually looks better now than he did in the 80s and 90s.
That's what I was saying. That's exactly what I said.
So
yes,
maybe
it's because we're also older now.
Well, yeah, our tastes have changed.
He had a bit of a bouffant hairstyle in the 80s and 90s. So maybe since that's calmed down, it's taken the features away from that his face.
Could be because Barrett, the England soccer team say he's their good luck mascot. He's good luck charm because he performed yesterday or early in the week for at halftime and England win, and now they're saying England fans are saying he's the one, WON and only. So hit him up, ask him about that, like how does it feel if you chat, just having a WhatsApp late night chat, and then also ask him, did he ever use soap on a rope on his face? Because Dori and I have a theory that's what prevented him from aging.
Why soap on the rope?
One.
Oh, you'd have to hear the beginning of the
show.
Okay.
Go back to the beginning of the show. Go back. We're on the podcast. Okay, listen back. Okay, well, thank you. Listen, what are you up? Anything interesting coming up? And not putting it out there, holding thumbs. What do you got? What are we listening out for on the Celeb Savant feed?
So there's not really 80s artists. It's a lot of up-and-coming artists from Australia, Ireland this week, South African artists. I've got Steve Lowe coming up in a couple of weeks, who was part of Big Sky from the 80s. So he's got a new solo album out. So he's coming out shortly. But the rest are more younger artists. So you'll just have to follow me now. I'm on Facebook as well. So Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Celeb Savant, CELEB Savant, SAVANT. And you'll find out all the details of what's happening. The concerts, I think I'm finished concerts for the year. So how it works for accreditation is that it's a pool of different media people. And I didn't know this originally when applying for media accreditations, that they choose from the pool because they've only got a limited amount. So there was supposed to be a couple of concerts this coming weekend, but I didn't get accreditation for either of them, which is fine because it's just been very busy with concerts. So I'm just grateful for the concerts that I have been to. So shout out to the organizers for that.
And also, I expect a full page forward to Barrett in Tiffany's cookbook. I wish I had thought about, put some work in to think of like what is Tiffany's cookbook going to be called. Dori, that's our homework for next week. What is Tiffany going to call her cookbook?
No. I can tell you right now.
No, I don't want reality. I don't want truth. I don't want truth.
We don't care about the real name.
No.
Okay.
We just, whatever we name it, that's what it's called. Thanks for joining us, Barrett. That is the Celeb Savant. Just put it into Google and you will find some of his stuff. Goodbye, Barrett.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So, Dori, we are second day of December. There are some dickheads out in the world that play this game. We found out about it. We're aghast. It's just those games you can't believe that kids play. People like really play it. It's on the schoolyards. It's so irresponsible. It's a TikTok trend. Like, when will kids learn to stop playing these games? They're going to hurt themselves. This particular game is called Whamageddon, and I'm anti it. I am parents against Whamageddon. Paul. That is the group and the cause I belong to. And it started up again.
How rude.
How rude. So if you don't know, Whamageddon is basically a game some assholes play where they see how long how far, how deep into December they can get without hearing Last Christmas. It is an abomination. It is a disgrace. This is a public service announcement, and the chairman, founder, and only member of Paul, but Dori, I'm hoping that you will join me, Parents Against Whamageddon. I'm just anti it, and I think people need to. I knew you didn't catch it the first time. I thought you didn't. And it's like, if you find your children are playing Whamageddon, you need. There is one cure. There is one cure. You can end it. Instantly, the power is in your hands. Okay? Don't ask me, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to troll and steal so much of Ronan Keating's and Magic Radio's content and play it on our show that I'm going to get on their radar, and they're going to send me a cease and desist letter, because guess who opened the Christmas season on Magic FM? Andrew Ridgeley himself. Take a listen to this.
I am. I mean, I never thought I'd be launching Christmas on behalf of the nation.
Well, you know, now's the time.
How does that feel?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a privilege.
Thank you, sir. Well, thank
Anyone
you.
you'd like to thank right now? I mean, it's a big moment. A lot of people tuning in and listening.
We all have a part to play.
Yeah, we do indeed.
But one small part.
Oh, it's an important part. Thank you so much. Andrew Ridgeley, please take it away. Please launch 100% Christmas right here on Magic. 3, 2, 1.
So that is Andrew Ridgeley launching Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just a public service announcement that if you are playing Whamageddon, it's a gateway drug, and you got to stop right now. Dori, I mean, are you with me?
I don't really care what other people do. We will just continue to listen to Last Christmas daily.
Okay.
And not worrying about what other people think.
You're right. So
It doesn't really.
No, we don't. And everything you've heard on the show today, you can find on that 80s Show SA Facebook page, the Celeb Savant. He is everywhere on the internet and on the concerts. Thanks for joining me, Dori. And Whamageddon be damned.